Hey, what's up guys, Valley Flying here. I am back. Welcome to the channel. Hey, today we're talking all about these challenges, and there's some good stuff in this challenge. You can get gold, training modules, ability energy, you get some energy for blitz and some health pack for the raids, orbs, and you could get a bunch of gear in this catalyst challenge. And as you can see, I'm doing this on a Sunday because every single one of these are available. I've been wanting to do these for a while, but I think it needed to be done on a Sunday so I can have access to all of them. Now, before I get into that though, I do want to make sure that remind you guys to subscribe to the channel because I have a lot more great Marvel Strike Force content out. Other thing, if you do want to support the channel, I do have an affiliate link to BlueStacks down below. It does not cost anything, but it does allow you to play on your computer, and it just supports the channel. It helps me continue to make videos like this. So if you want to play on your computer, make sure you click on that affiliate link down below. Also, I am going to be away this week, but I'm making a bunch of videos today, Sunday, and just be releasing them throughout the week. So if anything comes up, I will be on social media. I'm just not going to be able to make a video about anything. I will be on social media, so make sure you follow me, Facebook, Twitter. That's it. Let's get into these challenges. So, like I said, you have a bunch of these. Now, on Sunday, you got access to all of the challenges, but throughout the week, you have access to 2 at a time. And there's some good ones here. You have all of these challenges available to you on Sunday, and that's when I'm recording this. You can tell by this timer down here. And if you want to know when each challenge is available outside of that, you get 2 per day. It'll tell you right in this where this timer is. Now, it's not going to say on my game right now because it is Sunday and they're all technically available. But on any other day, it'll tell you what day that these challenges are available, that anyone that you want to look at. Now, as far as quick tips, some of these are going to be pretty obvious. And the best tip I could give you is a pretty obvious one. Go in and use the best team you have, just power-wise. The reason I say that is because you have an unlimited amount of attempts. It says you only have 3 attempts here, but they're only consumed upon successfully completing a mission. So, if you just take your best team into each challenge, you can kind of get a good assessment of where you're at, what you have to build upon. And I would recommend, because these are only consumed on a successful completion, just go into whatever the highest tier you can get into and just try that. See if you can complete it. If you can, awesome. If you can't, you know what you need to build on. Go for the highest one possible. Now, for these tier 8s, if we look at the recommended gear and level, gear should be around tier 8 or higher, and the level for each of these characters should be about level 55 and higher. Doesn't mean that you need to wait till then, because some of these are a little easier and you don't have to wait as much. You don't have to build up your characters as much. Which ones are easy? Well, this Gold Rush one is really easy because you can use all of your characters. If you've been playing for about a month, you should be able to pass all of the challenges, get to tier 8. Same thing with this Training Day one. You could use all of your characters. Basically, just taking your strongest arena team, you should be able to get to tier 8. And same thing for these orb fragments. If you've been playing long enough, basically just taking your arena team, you should be able to pass these no problem. Now, where they get a little hard is on some of them that limit the characters. The hardest one is probably this one, the Catalyst of Change. Even if you have all of your guys leveled up and geared up enough, it's going to be a challenge because only blasters are allowed in this one, and blasters don't really have a way to protect themselves. Just a big amount of damage and not a lot of protection. This one's tough. I did manage to do it, but I'm going to be saving this one for last. I know people want to see that one, but let's get to these other ones a little quicker because they're a little easier to talk about. Let's go with this medical supply run. Start off with that one. Now, who can you use on this one? Brawlers and support. So let's go take a look at the brawlers and support and see who we have available. All right, so we have a lot of different characters available in this. Here are all your support characters. Here are all your brawler characters. And I just got this from msf.gg, just took a picture of it and photoshopped them both together just so it looks nice. But there wasn't really in a place in the game or on any websites that you could just isolate it to two categories. Unless there's some feature on msf.gg or Strike Force Lab that I am not aware of. All right, but let's look at these characters.
So we got some good characters here. A couple of them I'm not even going to include in my recommended list. Now, I will be recommending some characters, but obviously, if you can just pass it with your strongest characters in all these classes, do that first. If you have some of these characters that I'm not including, use them because there's some pretty good characters that I'm not going to include on this list. Doctor Strange was only available in a Blitz and his Premium Orb. I'm not going to be including him in the team. Nick Fury, not available at all as of me recording this. Black Panther, we got a Blitz going on for him right now as I'm recording this, and he's a good character. Outside of the Blitz, he's only available in Premium Orbs right now. Deadpool, most people that have been playing for a while should have him unlocked, but I'm not going to talk about him in this video because I'm not sure what they're doing in the future, and if you guys are watching this in the future, Deadpool is not available, but obviously sub him in for some of these characters I'm talking about. If you have them, you're watching this right now. Who else? Ultimus. Nobody has Ultimus. Just got my first Ultimus orb, so I have 4 shards of Ultimus, but it's been a long time before I unlock him, so I'm not going to be talking about Ultimus as well. Everybody else is fair game. Now, I think the best character out of the bunch, out of everybody left, is Yondu. And if you've been watching any of the videos, building up your characters, once you start to approach that level 55, you should have him at a pretty good place. Include him on your team. Really good character. You also should have Night Nurse built up pretty good at this point because you need her for the raids. I think these are 2 no-brainer characters. They're going to give you some survivability on your team. Really good characters. Now, who else can we use? Gamora is one of the best characters in the game. She is a little squishy, which is why you're going to need the healing from Yondu's Ravager Stitcher and Night Nurse to heal her up in case something happens from her. Again, you have unlimited attempts at this as long it's just based on your successful challenges. So if you get bad RNG and the AI kills Nebula or Gamora, well, you could go in and try it again and hopefully they don't work on her. Wolverine, I think, is tanky enough that he'll be able to help you with this. Not the most unique attacks. I mean, he's just a damage guy. And then the last one. Daredevil's pretty good. As a new player, you should get him at 3 stars, so he should be built up pretty good. Elektra is another character that you get pretty early on. These are good characters as well. Spider-Man, you get him really early on in the game as well. So all players should have these 3 characters. They're all a solid choice for the last spot. But I think Mercenary Lieutenant is just the good character. Now, I didn't use him when I did the challenge. Frankly, I'm not sure who I use. It's been a while. But let's go in and try it with the teams that I just mentioned. Now, some of my characters like Yondu and Night Nurse are built up pretty high. It's probably going to be pretty easy, but just want to test out these characters and just to show you what is happening. I haven't played in a while, so honestly, I don't remember what the challenge looks like. So let's, I guess this is who I beat him with because this is still in the game. So let's take out Elektra and put in, who was the last character that I mentioned? Mercenary Lieutenant. Alright, so this is who we got. Going in with a power of about 86,000. If you guys have been playing for a while, your level should be around there. If you're a little newer to the game, you're going to go in with a little weaker team, but you still can probably beat it. And the good news is if you can't, you can try it with a different team. So I'm going to try it with this team just because I think they're pretty good. My Mercenary Lieutenant is not built up very strong, so we will have to see what happens here. I hope he does not die, but that's what Night Nurse and Yondu is there for. So let's go check this team out. Check out the challenge. See what you're up against if you haven't done this challenge yet. Let's obviously go all the way up to 3 stars. So we have 8 enemies. The first 4 are right here. So we have Shield Security, Shield Operative, Mercenary Sniper, and another Mercenary Sniper. I think the biggest threats right now initially are going to be these Mercenary Snipers. Now, I want to see if I can get both of these guys. So I'm actually going to use her chain. It's not the best damage, and it didn't proc. It's only a 50% chance the way I have it built up right now. So it's not a huge chance, but I do want to build them up. Nobody's taking damage yet, so I'm not going to heal. Doesn't really make sense. And now here's where the big buff comes up. Everybody gets offense up. Actually, not everybody, just a few of the characters because I don't have it leveled enough. I'm going to see if I could chain this damage out to here. I don't have a clear, and that's probably where Elektra came in handy. That's probably why I had her, and might actually be a better choice than Mercenary Lieutenant, but that's the reason why I wanted to go through this, because I don't remember the challenge. Alright, so second wave right here. Elektra, Black Widow, what is this guy's name? Hawkeye and Captain America. Biggest threat, I think, is either Elektra or Hawkeye because of the damage. I don't know if we could kill Elektra in time for her to get her first move off and go into stealth, so let's start working on Hawkeye. I do want to buff up Night Nurse a little. She's lost a little bit of health in that initial wave. And as you guys can see, I don't have them really set up properly for this, so it's not the best setup. Gamora's leveled pretty high. Let's go just for fun and see if she could kill him. Normally I wouldn't go for someone in the green for this, but because she's leveled a lot higher than him, want to check it out, and she couldn't do it. But again, with these challenges, just have fun because you know, you get unlimited attempts. He's not doing too well. Mercenary Lieutenant's not doing very well. He's not level 55. He's not gear 8, so he's a little under level for this. But hopefully the guys around him can help out and do some good protecting for him. All right, so she went after a minion. We got lucky there. That was a lot of luck. If they went after Mercenary Lieutenant, that is one of the cases that is just bad RNG, and you know, gotta attempt it again. Alright, so let's heal everybody up. We probably should be good at this point. Elektra used her big move, and she used her stealth move, so we should be getting through this. Now, I probably could put it on auto at this point, but I just want to make sure that we're good. Alright, so we beat this with this team. And again, they're leveled pretty high, but these are all pretty farmable characters. You're getting some shards of Wolverine, and if you've been playing long enough, he should be built up pretty good. Alright. Next challenge I want to talk about. I'm going to save the toughest one for last, just because we might need a few attempts there. And that is this one for these ability enhancements. This one is really important because these help to level up your character's, what do you call those? Abilities. I just said the word and I couldn't remember. Alright, so let's take a look at these characters. We got some really good characters. This controller class, some really good stuff here.
But I'm not going to include all of them because I do want to make a team that can be easily farmed for the newer players. And obviously, if you're a more veteran player and struggling with this, include some of these good characters. So Black Widow, really good character. If you have her, include her, but I'm not going to include her in this test demo that I'm doing. Nobu, good character, not farmable. I'm not sure if I would include him anyway. Same thing with Vision. I'm not including him because he's not easily farmable, but I don't know if I would use him anyway. And same thing with Hulk. I don't think I would use him, but I'm not going to include him just because I'm not sure at what point you actually get Hulk to a usable level and at what point you could actually pass the challenge. So because I'm not sure, I'm not including him, but I don't think I would include him anyway. So not that big of a deal. Kingpin, pretty hard to farm on that last villain stage. So I'm not including him, but he would be a good addition to the team. I didn't have him unlocked when I did the challenge. Captain America, I did have unlocked, but again, I'm not sure at what point I passed it and what point I actually unlocked Captain America, so I'm not going to include him on this list right now, but just like Black Widow, if you have him, use him. Now, Thanos is an interesting case, because if you've been playing for a little while, you have him unlocked, you have him at a usable level, and you probably should be using him in this challenge. If you are a newer player that started around the Deadpool raid, or if you're watching this in the future, I'm not sure how farmable Thanos is, so I'm not including him in this list. But characters that you should include if you have them: Black Widow, Captain America, Thanos, Kingpin, they're all really good. If you have them, use them. But I'm going to make a list based on some easier to farm characters. So Hawkeye, I would include. You could get him on day, maybe not day one, but early on, because he's on that first chapter of villains. Really good character. You need to include him. One of the best characters in the game, Quake. You gotta include her. Now, I don't know if I would include any of these other controllers. Maybe Jessica Jones usable or the Kree, But I'm probably going to go to these protectors because it is about trying to get that 3 stars and keeping them alive. All right. Best protector out of the ones that is left is probably Crossbones. Now, he's probably not the best survivable guy because he does that detonate and hurts himself as well. But I think if you build him up enough, you can still use him in this challenge. Drax is a very good character, and I think I used him for the mission. And if you have him, just like the other characters, use him. But I'm not including him on the list because for the very, very new player, you're going to have to make a choice between Quake and Drax. And if you have both, great, use them both. But if you're just doing one, you're probably just having Quake because I think she's a much better character than Drax. So I'm not going to include him on the list. Who I am going to include in his place is Luke Cage because he gives defense up to everybody, and he has that taunt, and he just does a lot more from the team, even though Drax is a better pure tank. The last guy, I guess I have to go with Hand Sentry. Really good character. He just doesn't have a lot in a non-hand team to help heal him when he's taking that damage. So let's go into the game, see how this team works in this challenge. This is for, what is this for? The ability enhancements. This is really good for leveling up. This is the team, and this is probably the order that I would put them in. Putting Hand Sentry right here because he has that, what is that called? Smoke Bomb for everybody. And putting all my tanks on this side, putting my squishy characters on this side. But, you know, by the way, I have in the build, they're probably not the squishiest characters. But let's go in and talk about them. 86,000 right now is where I have their power level when you combine them. So let's check these guys out. And let's see how they do on this challenge. And I will be talking about what I am thinking about, what I want to do when I fight this challenge. So let's get this up to level 3. And we only have 5 enemies. So what you see on the screen is what you have for the challenge. There's no other waves that come in. All right, we got threats all around. Korath is a big threat, can take somebody out. Maybe not at this level and where he's at, but he can apply heal block and just be really annoying. Heal block doesn't really matter on this team though because there is nobody with heal. Yondu is probably the biggest threat because he has that AoE attack, maybe a little mitigated with Hand Sentry, so maybe that wasn't too bad of a choice. Gamora is always a threat as long as she's on the field. And Nebula can just be really annoying. Doesn't have a huge attack, but she's really hard to kill. She has those counters. And then Pre-Royal Guard is just their basic tank. Let's remove that taunt off right away. Boom. And like I said, the good thing is on this challenge, you could test out teams. You could test out the order that you do things in. And I think I want to slow this side. We got a bunch more threats here on this side. Nebula and Yondu. So I'm going to slow that side. Yondu's slowed. Nebula slowed. And, oh, Nebula's not slowed. It didn't apply to her. All right, so I'm not going to use his taunt, obviously. So I'm going to just use the basic attack and hit Yondu. And because I don't want to take Luke Cage out of stealth yet, I'm just going to apply defense up to everybody on the team just to make them a little more tanky. And there we go. All right, so we could still hit Yondu. And Korath hasn't damaged us too much. He's a little lower level, so I'm not sure how much his heal block procs. Obviously, if you want to really find out, you can check this out and view teams, and we could find out right there. And he's only at level 55, doesn't have a lot of health. His skills aren't leveled up to their max either, so he's a little easier than what you probably would see in Arena or Blitz. Alright, so let's keep going with these guys. Now I'm going to use this. He's going to, I think it takes him out of stealth, but it's going to definitely do some damage to him. So I probably want to use this taunt right away to give him a little more healing. Let's see if we can take out anybody. And nobody got taken out, but Gamora is almost done. Oh, and she goes right after Crossbones. I think the good move right here is to get that taunt from Luke Cage. I'll take him out of stealth, and that's fine. We got an AoE attack coming from Hawkeye. Boom, that took out Gamora. We got Nebula left, and Korath. He is blinded. She is blinded. Actually, they're all blinded, so I'm going to work on Nebula. She's got the counter there on Hand Sentry. Let's just give a big AoE attack with Quake, and maybe that takes everybody out, and it does. She is leveled a little higher than some of these other guys. That is the challenge. It's not too bad.
And that brings us to our last challenge. This is probably the one that everybody has the most questions about, and I saved this for the end because there's a lot to go over here. Now, this one is only available to blaster characters, which is a problem because there's not a lot of good blaster characters out there. We got a lot of characters. Let's take a look at them. Three of the best characters are not readily available. We got Cable, who at the point of me recording this, he was only available in 2 blitzes so far, and not farmable any other way outside of that. If you were lucky enough to get him during those blitzes, or if you're watching this in future and you have him, use him. He is one of the best blaster characters, and level him up, use him. This challenge is gonna be a lot easier for you using Cable. Rocket, another really good character. Not everybody has him. For some reason, he was available in an event that some people got, some people didn't. I actually played during the beta, and I got him luckily enough, so I used him in the challenge. And I'll be showing him in my demonstration video, but in the team that I'm going to be building and seeing if we could do it, I'm not going to include him because not everybody has him. Same thing with Iron Man. Now, if you already have him, and when I'm releasing this video, you should have no problem with this challenge because he was only available to beta, and beta players probably should have a good enough roster that they could beat this, no problem. If you're watching this in the future, after this Iron Man event that's coming up in a couple days, if you're watching this and you already have Iron Man and you have him unlocked and are using him, use him for this event because he's really good. These 3 characters, though, are not really available, but make sure to use them because they're really good if you have them. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to go in and play this challenge with the team that I first beat them in, and that was Thor, Winter Soldier. Now, Winter Soldier was not leveled pretty high. I think I just unlocked him about a week or 2 before I completed the challenge. Who else did I have? I actually was lucky enough to get Rocket, so I used him in the challenge. And I used Hand Archer because I was already building up my hand team for Blitz, and Hand Archer was my next strongest character. And that goes back to the strong characters again. Use the strongest characters that you have. Now, my next strongest character is pretty weak, and that was Punisher at the time. And he's not a great character, and he's actually the weakest link on the team. Now, since I've done the challenge, we had that Punisher Blitz event, so I had a bunch of shards for Punisher, and I've leveled him up. I think he's level 4 or 4 stars right now. Hand Archer, I've been working on Hand Archer and leveling him up. I think he gained another star since I did the challenge. Rocket, haven't really done too much with him since the challenge. Thor, I think I increased his gear from gear 8 to gear 9, so he's a little stronger. Winter Soldier, I got him a star, and I think I built him up a little more because he is on one of my Blitz teams. Alright, so let's go into the challenge, and let's fight this. This is the team that I fought them in. This is the... I guess this is the order that I used them in because this is what it's set at. So, not necessarily the best order, but let's go in and fight the challenge. You got 2 waves coming up here. We're going to use this team just to see if I can still beat it, because it actually took me a bunch of attempts. But it goes back to keep trying, keep trying. You have unlimited amount of attempts. The only reason you would not keep trying is if you just don't have the time. Just do the level, just sim the level previously. All right, so let's go and fight these guys. Now, we got some tough characters here. Quake, Hawkeye are the big threats. I got 2 options right now. I could either attack Hawkeye or Quake, or I could try to remove all these buffs off him. I'm actually going to save it because we got shield security right here, and he's going to get a taunt once these guys get low enough on their health. So I think the way the AI uses them, I think we have enough time before Quake does her big move to get to her. So I'm going to start attacking Hawkeye first. And what you want to do, or what I did at least, was get these big threats out of the way. Oh yeah, and they've been leveled a lot since then. I remember that was a lot tougher. I'm going to save this move for the next tier that comes up. So I'm going to use this special attack on shield security. Same thing. No, it's not going to change, so there's no reason to do that. Just gonna keep working on shield security with Thor's basic right here. And yeah. Oh, so shield medic. That's one of the things she does. Doesn't happen a lot. Very low chance, but it does bring people back to life. I'm gonna save Punisher's big move here as well and go for his special on Quake. I don't know if that was a good move. I think it does a little less damage. It does have an adjacent attack though. Alright, so still saving Rocket's big move here. And as you can see, this is a tough challenge if you got someone weak like Punisher. Now, if I did this again today, I probably would be using Cable because he's a much better character and not much level, too much higher, but a little bit higher than Punisher. I'm going to keep working on the basics here because as long as they don't hit Punisher, which should still be good for the challenge. So you need a little luck involved here. Oh, there goes Punisher. There goes a 3-star. So as you can see, I still can't consistently 3-star this even with my team, and that's just because Punisher is so bad. But let's start using these AoEs now. I think the big threat right now is these two guys. We have Black Panther, who just has this big AoE attack and usually can take out Punisher. And Hawkeye starts with an AoE attack and also can take out Punisher. But at this point, Punisher's dead, so it doesn't matter too much. Again, there's some RNG that's involved with this. Oh, and there goes my Archer guy as well. I don't want Captain America giving defense up to everybody, so I'm going to stun him. And let's just take out Iron Man with Rocket, and there we go with Winter Soldier. So, you know, this is still a tough challenge. I still can't do this consistently, even though I've built up my guys since then. Let's go back in, though, and look at this list, who we got here. All right, so if I were to make a team from scratch with easier farmer people, I would put Thor in there, Winter Soldier in there, and I probably would still use Hand Archer because it's worth building up to build up a hand team. Very good stuff. Now, for newer players, you probably already have Punisher and built them up to an okay level. Probably not enough that you could be consistent with it, but you know, mine's is not built very high. It just, as you say, it just died. And then Karath, I think, is the next best character. Karath is actually better than a few of these other characters, but just not really built up on my team. So let's go try this team. Thor, Winter Soldier, Punisher, Karath, and Hand Archer. I think this is the best team, unless you replace Bullseye with Hand Archer. But let's go try this team. And again, we have unlimited attempts. You still have, I did pass it, but we only have 2 more attempts. So let's go and try this team. Let's take out Rocket. And all we're going to do is put in Karath. Now, if you look at where Rocket was, 16,000 versus 2,000. We're probably not going to beat this, but it doesn't matter because we have unlimited attempts. So let's go in and try this team. I think if they're all built up, this team can work good. But as you saw, my Karath is pretty bad right now. So we'll see if we can still pass it, though. Hopefully Thor is strong enough that he can still do some damage here. Alright, so Thor and Winter Soldier was a keys last time. Oh, and we got Karath dead already, so it didn't do anything. So it just kind of wasted a spot. Let's go see if we can still pass it with this team, though. Obviously, the challenge does recommend that you go in there with level 55 Gear 8 characters, and Hand Archer's not there, Winter Soldier is close, Punisher's not there at all, Thor is there. So, really going in with a very underpowered team. And that's just kind of how it is with this blaster team. There's not a lot of good blasters. I'm going to use the AoE early because we already lost Rocket. And they do have a heal. Let me heal, block, and possibly kill Winter Soldier. We already can't 3-star this, so I'm not worried about 3-star as much. Just worried about winning right now. I'm going to keep working on Quake because she is a threat. I think she just did her big Quake attack, though. You know, sometimes it's hard for me to pay attention and talk at the same time. But here we go. We got Black Widow and Medic left. We got no healing, so Punisher and Archer are pretty much going to die right now. Those are the weak links on the team for me, even when I use Rocket. Karath is a little weaker than all of them, so He died really early on. Really weak. I don't have my Karath built at all. Alright, so we know he's gonna get an AoE off, so he's gonna die. He's probably gonna die. He's not gonna get an AoE off until we start to attack him a little more. And he's gonna put defensive up to everybody. So I think the big threat still is Iron Man. We gotta get it off before his turn. He has a chain attack too. So alright, so this is probably not the best move, but I do want to get a little bit of everybody before he dies. Once he has his turn, there we go. There, oh, he survived. Oh, no, he didn't survive. Alright, there we go. And let's see if we can still beat this. But like I said, the good thing is we can experiment with these teams and still not face any consequences. I can still fight these guys. I mean, other than time, there's no consequences for failing at these attempts. Oh, and there goes Winter Soldier. He's built up a little more than the other guys, but not really built up too much. We got slow Thor coming here. Let's see if he's fast enough to get some attacks off and actually do anything to these teams. Oh! I don't know. I don't think it's gonna happen this time. Man, Thor's just so slow. He needs that team. Really missing Rocket right now. But I wanted to do it with a team that is a little easier to farm. Alright, so we got beat there. But, you know, obviously you can keep trying until you beat the level. And that's pretty much my tips. You know, look at these characters. See who could you level. I mean, maybe if I was doing this again and I had him built, I would put Bullseye in for Karath, but I think Karath is still built up a little higher. Punisher, I do want to get out of there, but luckily on one of the runs I had good RNG and Punisher survived. So that's what it's about. A lot of experimentation. You know, build your characters up enough. Obviously, you can't go in there on the tier 8 raid with someone that's only 2,000 power. He got killed really early on, didn't even make a difference in the battle. So those are my tips. Make sure you guys are leveled up enough. They should be close to that level 55 tier 8 battle if they're not there. Or some of your other guys should be a lot higher to hopefully protect your other guys. Keep trying. You got unlimited attempts. There's no harm in trying other than using extra time. And just try your best guys at first. See if what you can do. And then replace these guys. If you got Cable, use him. If you got Iron Man, use him. If you got Rocket, use him. And that is what I would think. If you guys have any other questions, let me know in the comments down below. It is a tough challenge. You do need to get a little lucky unless you have all your characters built properly. But that's it. Make sure you follow me on social media. Subscribe to the channel. And like I always say, if you want to play on BlueStacks on your computer, there's an affiliate link down below. Click it, and the channel gets some credit. I will see you guys next time. Hopefully you have a good week. Hopefully this is a good event coming up soon for the Blitz. And we will see what happens this Blitz. And keep working on the Iron Man because he is coming very, very soon. You can look at your in-game inbox to check out that countdown. If you're watching this in future, hopefully you got Iron Man. I will see you guys next time. Valley Flying. Out!